At the time, I feel like he truly, like, how I describe it in the book, he just like was like, I'm sorry, that wasn't cool, and kind of got away with it a little bit, you know? Later in life, when he was a little bit older, we saw each other and he genuinely apologized.
Welcome back to our channel. Today we'll be looking at celebrities who tried to warn us about James Franco. You might think it's strange that others were warning us about James Franco, but the fact is that if you look at how he interacts with individuals close to him, you'll find that this isn't a random act. He's been doing it for quite some time now. Franco, for example, received backlash from his former Freaks and Geeks co-star Busy Phillips in her memoir, This Will Only Hurt a Little, published in 2014. Franco, whom she described as an effing bully, allegedly assaulted her on set as part of the screenplay, she claims. She was told to lightly smack Franco across the breast. She claims that he exploded and attacked her. He snatched both of my arms and screamed in my face, "Don't touch me," Phillips penned the text. When I was knocked out, he threw me to the ground flat on my back. Another tragic tendency in Hollywood is men being protective over women, and James Franco displayed similar tendencies early in his career in Freaks and Geeks. Can you imagine what he did afterwards if he was willing to do that so early? You don't have to imagine anything, because others have mentioned how bleak things became with him. Sarita, their Kaplan, was number 5. Fast forward a few years in Franco's career to the year 2018. Was a great year for him critically, as he won the Golden Globe for Best Actor for his part in The Disaster Artist, which was no doubt a memorable night for him. But not for those who had been abused by him. Sarah Taylor Kaplan, a former acting student at the film school Franco created, who went on to star in numerous of his productions, described it as a slap in the face. In interviews with the New York Times, 5 women accused Franco, 39, of inappropriate or slightly exploitive behavior towards his students, with one saying he was her mentor. If I've made a mistake, I'll correct it. To these women, on the other hand, believe his words are empty. None of it matters to me. I'm only becoming more disgusted. In some instances, yes. They claim they believe Franco might help them progress their careers, and that they followed his orders even when they were uncomfortable. I believe there was an abuse of power and a culture of exploiting non-celebrity women, as well as a culture of women being replaceable, said Kaplan, who is one of the many women who took to Twitter to express their outrage over Franco's win and his support for Time's Up, the initiative combating sexual misconduct in Hollywood, of which he's now been accused several times. What would you say if he were to happen to be watching this right now? All I want him to do is change. These women then went on to detail the different things he told them to do in his acting workshops, including disrobing and having to do particular types of scenes, for which he became enraged when some of the women refused to get naked to act with him. It's easy to see why they'd decline that number. Franco's response? What I heard on Twitter is not accurate. It's time to make amends. I'll make it happen. Franco, on the other hand, not only had nothing happen to him in a major sense, but he would later try to refute the claims during a conversation with Stephen Colbert. Look, in my life, I've always prided myself on taking responsibility for my actions, he informed Colbert. That is something I must do to keep my health. Things I heard on Twitter aren't real, but I wholeheartedly support people coming out and having a voice because they haven't had one for so long. So I'm not going to turn them off in any way. He went on to say that if he made a mistake, he would correct it. I'm forced to. It was tremendous and there were some wonderful voices, and I wholeheartedly endorse it. Change is something I am in favor of. I support the 50-50 and 22%, which simply implies underrepresented women. And he had an odd response, not least because he was disputing the claims, but still congratulating them for coming forward and stating that others needed to speak up about abusers in the Hollywood milieu. So he declared he didn't do anything wrong in one paragraph and made himself look more acceptable by applauding them for speaking out. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce myself. I work because I believe in the cause. I was ecstatic to win, but being in that room that night was wonderful. It was, after all, a Hollywood production. Number 3, Hillary, if you want another account of his bad teaching, you can ask Hillary Duceppe, who was a student of Franco's in 2012 when he was teaching at a different acting school. At first, she thought he was a kind soul who was genuinely trying to assist them. Her feelings changed after that. Being chosen to perform with a small group of other females in one of Franco's art films. They fill all of the positions that have been taken away from them. This is something I firmly believe in. That is what I desire. The other student, Natalie Schmiel, said she was promised the tape would be used for a 7 for All Mankind advertisement. Both women characterized a strip club shoot as unprofessional and unpleasant. Franco approached the actresses who were wearing masks and lingerie midway through filming and asked, "So who wants to take their shirt off when no action volunteered?" Some recalled Franco storming off. "I had the impression that I had been chosen for something because of my dedication to my marriage, and when I discovered it wasn't because of my attractive breasts, I knew it wasn't the case. I don't believe he started teaching with malicious intentions, but he went down a horrible path and hurt a lot of people in the process, according to others." These are just a few of the stories that have come out of his acting classes, and each one recounts how Franco failed to deliver on his promise to assist them in obtaining roles, especially if they did not follow his wishes. And that's not even taking into account the women who had to deal with him. On the second set, Charlene Yeager, actress Charlie Nehe, and James Franco's friends, including Seth Rogen, were accused of encouraging his alleged violent behavior. No, they didn't. I haven't had the opportunity to read them. They're people I've heard of. First and foremost, I have no recollection of what I did to Al-Qaeda. I directed her in an off-Broadway play. She also said that the Disaster Artist production team bribed her when she sought to leave because of sexual misconduct charges against actor James Franco, according to the program. You wrote on Instagram that the production tried to keep her from leaving by providing her a significant acting role. She stated that she didn't feel safe working with Franco, and that she wanted to leave the 2017 film. I didn't know anything. I'm not sure why she was so furious. She removed the tweet from the internet. I'm not sure. I'm afraid I can't speak for her. I have no idea. I take pride in owning up to my mistakes. Done, which is understandable considering what she had heard from others and observed on set. Why aren't any of James Franco's white male feminist colleagues holding him accountable for women, and then using his status and position to gaslight them, as you wrote? I cried and told him that was the exact opposite of what I wanted, that I didn't feel secure working with the effing sexual predator, she said. They downplayed Franco's predatory behavior, claiming that he changed when I first heard about him. You knew a lot of women during that week. I do whenever I am aware of it. I make it a point to fix whatever is broken or needs to be updated. Things I heard on Twitter aren't true. She hadn't finished yet. When it comes to holding Franco and Seth Rogen accountable, white males feel it's not their fault. So, who is to blame? There will be no fallout. The repercussions of these allegations are gradually becoming apparent. A lawsuit against Franco was filed by some of the ladies we discussed earlier in the film, and it was settled in February. People coming out and finally having a voice after a long time without one, so I don't want to turn them off in any way. It's, in my opinion, a positive thing. What do you think will happen now that James Franco has been exposed as a predator and a couple of women? Do you believe he'll be shunned by the industry as a whole, or will he be protected like others before him? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you on the channel again soon. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.